Ready for an adventure? This deep dive, we're island hopping through Scotland.
Island hopping.
Yeah, using the Love Scotland travel newsletter as our guide.
Ah, okay. Sounds fun.
Right. Hidden gems, maybe some inspiration for our next trip.
I'm in. You know, what gets me about the Scottish Islands is that it's more than just a change of scenery.
Oh,
Each island, honestly, each one has this really distinct character, shaped by, centuries of history, close connection to nature.
you've got my attention. So let's start with Iona.
Iona?
The newsletter loves it, especially Iona Abbey. What makes it so special?
Iona Abbey. It's not just old, it's like a cornerstone of religious history there in the British Isles.
Really?
Founded all the way back in the 6th century.
Wow.
It was a vital hub for spreading Christianity. Not just Scotland, beyond, too.
6th century. That's incredible. I can't even imagine.
Try picturing monks, like painstakingly copying manuscripts by hand,
Oh,
preserving knowledge during some really chaotic times.
it's like stepping back in time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's way more than just old.
Right.
That's significant. Speaking of significant, the newsletter mentioned almost 800 islands.
A lot of islands.
How do you even process that?
Well, that's where those distinct island groups help, you know? You've got the Hebrides, which a lot of people call the Western Isles.
Okay.
They stretch along Scotland's west coast. Look, rugged coastlines, dramatic cliffs, just wild beauty.
Okay, I'm picturing the landscape photos now.
Exactly.
What about Orkney and Shetland? I feel like I've heard those names, but
Yeah.
where are they exactly? What makes them unique?
All right, so picture this. You keep heading north, past mainland Scotland, you hit the northern tip, you keep going.
Keep going.
You find Orkney and Shetland,
Okay.
almost like stepping stones to the Arctic Circle.
Wow, so far north. What's special about Orkney?
Orkney is all about the archaeological treasures, evidence of settlements going back thousands of years.
Oh, well.
Think standing stones, ancient tombs, a real air of mystery.
Okay, so Orkney for history buffs. Got it. What about Shetland? What's their claim to fame?
Shetland, now we're talking even further north. Strong Viking heritage there.
Really?
Still palpable today. Rugged landscapes, definitely. But also, this very unique culture, influenced by those seafaring Norse ancestors.
I love that.
They even have their own breed of ponies.
No way.
Tiny but mighty, just like the islands themselves.
Okay, this is already so much more than just, pretty beaches and scenery. This is fascinating. The newsletter mentions some pretty interesting details, too, like clapshot.
Clapshot.
What is that? Should I be adding it to my must-try list?
Oh, clapshot. All right. Imagine this. Potatoes and turnips,
Okay, I'm listening.
often mashed together with butter and chives.
Okay, now you've got my attention.
Simple, traditional. Speaks to that island resourcefulness,
Using what they have.
Exactly.
I love how even the food tells a story.
Mm.
But it's not all about food.
Okay.
The Love Scotland newsletter also mentioned castles.
Castles, of course. You can't talk about Scotland without them.
I know, right? Which one stood out to them?
Dunvegan Castle on the Isle of Skye. And it really is stunning.
What's it like?
Picture a castle. No, put it on this craggy cliff
Okay.
overlooking a loch, a lake.
Yeah.
History full of clan warfare, ancient legends.
It sounds like something out of a movie. Okay, I'm hooked. Iona, Orkney, Shetland, castles, clapshot. It's a lot to take in.
Right.
And there's more, isn't there? The newsletter mentioned something about Arran being the Scottish island that has everything.
It did say that. Big claim, everything.
It is. So does it live up to the hype?
You know what? Erin might just pull it off. It's
Yeah.
often described as like Scotland in miniature.
Scotland in miniature.
Yeah, it packs an incredible variety of landscapes and experiences into one island.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What kind of everything are we talking about here?
It's amazing how quickly you get drawn in, isn't it?
Right, and we've barely scratched the surface.
Really.
We've got ancient history, Viking tales, castles perched on cliffs.
Yeah.
But with 800 islands, there's got to be more.
Oh, there's definitely more.
What else did Love Scotland tuck into this newsletter?
Well, for one, they mentioned something that caught my eye, especially if you're into wildlife.
Okay, I'm listening.
Remember those puffins we talked
Oh,
about?
yes. The adorable birds with the colorful beaks. They just hinted at those, didn't they?
They did.
What's the deal with puffins in the Scottish Islands?
Okay, so picture this. You're on a boat,
Okay.
wind in your hair, approaching these towering cliffs just teeming with seabirds.
Okay, I can picture it.
And among them, these comical little puffins waddling around, those brightly colored beaks, nesting, raising their young.
That sounds incredible. Where are these puffin colonies?
Yeah.
And more importantly, how do I get there?
The Hebrides are known for their puffin colonies.
Yep.
Islands like Staffa and Linga especially.
Noted.
And it's not just puffins either. You might spot seals basking on the rocks, maybe even whales.
Yeah, okay, now you're just trying to tempt me to book a flight. Those wildlife encounters must be amazing to see in person.
They really are something else. But the natural wonders don't stop there. Don't forget about the Highland cows.
Oh, right. With their long, shaggy hair and those horns.
Okay.
Can't forget about them. Yeah, this feels like more than just a travel itinerary. It's like a glimpse into a different way of life.
It really is. And speaking of a different way of life, let's circle back to the food. Remember clapshot?
How could I forget? Oh. Potatoes, turnips, butter. Ultimate comfort food.
Right.
But you said it's more than just a dish.
It is. It embodies that connection to the land, that resourcefulness of island communities, using simple local ingredients.
Creating something delicious.
Exactly.
Makes you think about the history, doesn't it?
It does.
The people, the challenges, the traditions, all reflected in the food.
And you find that same spirit woven into the fabric of the islands. The ruins, the stories.
Speaking of stories,
Mm-hmm.
what more can you tell me about Arran, the Scottish island that has everything? Why is it so special?
Arran is like a microcosm of everything that makes Scotland captivating. Mountains, beaches, history.
Okay, so we've got the dramatic landscapes covered. What else?
Well, if you prefer a slower pace, there are these beautiful sandy beaches, perfect for a relaxing walk.
Ooh, I do love a good beach walk. Any castles on Arran? It's not a trip to Scotland without castles, right?
No, Arran doesn't disappoint on the castle front. Broddick Castle, elegant gardens overlooking the Firth of Clyde.
Ordens and castles.
Hmm.
My kind of place. This is almost overwhelming. In a good way.
Yeah.
How do you even choose which islands to visit?
That's the fun part. And this is where the Love Scotland newsletter really shines. They encourage you to think about what you're really looking for.
Okay, I like that.
What kind of traveler are you?
So it's not just about checking off a list. It's about finding the right fit. What kind of questions should we be asking ourselves?
Good question. It starts with figuring out what speaks to you. Are you drawn to rugged landscapes, that thrill of the outdoors? Are you a history buff? Or are you looking for a slower pace of life?
Like finding your own personal island compass, guiding you toward the experiences that will really resonate.
Hmm.
Brilliant. What other gems did Love Scotland hide in their newsletter? It's funny just reading about these islands.
Yeah.
It's like I can smell the salty air, feel the wind in my hair.
I know, right? It really makes you feel like you're there. That's the power of a good travel piece, I guess.
Yeah.
Love Scotland doesn't just give you facts, it transports you.
For sure.
But there's this one last thought they leave us with.
Okay.
It really stuck with me. This idea of like going beyond the tourist traps.
Oh, venturing off the beaten path. I like that.
Exactly. They're not saying avoid the famous spots. Just be open to the unexpected detours.
There's something so much more rewarding about discovering those hidden gems, the stuff you won't find in a guidebook.
Right. They talk about stumbling upon a secluded beach.
Oh, I love that.
Or a little pub tucked away somewhere where time moves slowly. Those are the experiences you remember.
Absolutely. Do they give any tips for finding those moments, for
Yeah,
embracing
yeah.
that spirit of discovery?
They did, in a way. They stressed being present, being open.
Open to what comes your way.
Exactly. Rent a bike, let the road lead you, chat with a local shopkeeper. You never know what you'll find.
It's like getting a little lost. Not in a bad way, but in a way that opens up possibilities.
I agree. Those unplanned moments often become the best stories.
They do.
So we've explored the history, the landscapes, the food. We talked about finding the right island for you.
And we talk about staying open to the unexpected.
Yeah.
This Love Scotland newsletter has given us a lot to think about.
It has. To our listeners, as you plan your own Scottish island adventure, think about this. What magic are you hoping to uncover? What will you discover in the enchanting embrace of the Scottish Islands?
What a great question to end on. And that's a wrap on this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.